It begins with the smell of salt. The sharp scent rides in from the Savannah River, curling through iron alleys and worn brick archways, through a city waking in layers. A ship's horn wails in the distance. The streets echo with the soft groan of cartwheels over cobblestones, and somewhere down on River Street, the labor has already begun. This is Savannah, 1891. Not the Savannah of moss and postcards, but the working city, the pulsing engine. The city drawn in ink and precision on this very map, every rooftop and smokestack calling you to walk inside. We start where the city thunders, the central of Georgia Railway Yard. Just south of Liberty Street, the great roundhouse groans as men swing iron hammers against steel. Sparks jump, white hot. The turntable creaks, rotating a black locomotive into line. It smells of ash and oil and sweat. 50 men in denim and soot moving in rhythm, shouting over the whistle's shriek. Here they service the engines that pull cotton and lumber from Georgia's belly to the docks. It is not poetry. It is power. Young boys scramble along the yard's edges, carrying water and collecting scraps, staring wide-eyed at the sheer mechanical muscle of it all. You can feel it under your boots, the pulse of the rails. Coal dust hangs in the air like a fine fog. A foreman's pocket watch snaps shut. Somewhere a boiler heaves and sighs, then settles into a steady breath. The map shows the lines as ink. Out here they hum like living wire. Follow the rails north and the ground begins to climb. The sound of the yard fades to a tremor underfoot, replaced by the river's slower heartbeat. 2 blocks north, the city drops away, bluff to river. Bay Street sits proud on high ground, lined with counting houses and brokers' offices, men in linen and starch pacing behind thick glass. Beneath them, the world works. Down iron staircases and steep ramps, you find factors walk. Layers of catwalks, alleys, and arched tunnels carved into the bluff. Cotton bales ride on rope hoists from wagons above to steamboats below. Stevedores chant in cadence. The river is a hive of sound, steam hiss, gull cries, the clatter of wood and rope. A boss barks an order, and a gangplank thumps against the hull. A dray horse stamps and snorts, then leans into the load. You can taste sweat and river silt and the molasses that leaks from a cracked barrel. The tar on the pilings warms in the sun. A broker leans from a balcony and flicks ash to the cobbles while a clerk tallies weights by the window. This is the throat of Savannah's economy, and it never sleeps. Follow Bryan Street east. The river breeze lifts the brim of your hat. The hotel flags ahead snap and fall. On Bryan, 2 grand façades rise like sentinels. The Pulaski House and the Screven House. Hotels for the ambitious and the arrived. Outside the Pulaski House, a carriage waits, the driver dozing under a wide straw hat. Inside, the dining hall rings with silver on porcelain. Merchants from New York toast with men from Macon. Deals are struck between bites of grouper and bourbon. A pianist moves through a genteel waltz. A telegram boy slips in, hat to chest, eyes wide at the polish of it all. The Screven House stands a little aloof, a quiet preference of judges, railroad men, and political fixers who come to town without noise and leave with influence folded in a breast pocket. Gas lamps flicker under the covered walkways. Bellhops, barely teenagers, stand stiff in red waistcoats, waiting for the next name to arrive. The map marks these blocks as simple shapes. In person, you hear the clink, the murmur, the rustle of paper that turns into money. Turn south toward the shade. The noise thins. The air cools under the oaks. Lafayette Square hums in low quiet. Rising over it, the completed Cathedral of St. John the Baptist stands proud, its Gothic facade catching the light. It is 1891, nearly a decade since the cathedral opened in 1876. The twin towers command the square, their tops finished without the later spires that will be added in 1896. Parishioners pass slowly, crossing themselves at the doors. Inside, candles glow and the murmur of prayer carries beneath high vaults. A verger straightens a missal. A mason on routine upkeep brushes dust from a sill and nods once at his works. Outside the gates, a woman from the shops lingers to admire the stone and smiles. The Irish have waited years for this cathedral, proof of belonging, brick for brick. You hear them in the corner taverns at night, raising glasses to the Virgin and the Bishop. They built the docks. Now they are building the sky. The map shows a footprint of stone. Here it feels like a promise. Head west to Bull and let the current of the city carry you. The sunlight breaks in patches under the trees. The bell of a trolley drifts in from somewhere ahead. Madison Square swells with life. Ladies in pressed gowns walk arm in arm past dry goods stores and druggists, past photographers' studios and tobacco shops. Children dart between benches and play marbles near the Confederate monument. Shopkeepers sweep stoops. A newsboy calls out a headline. A tailor holds a jacket up to the doorway light and checks the line of the sleeve. The streetcar rings, a clear ding, then a rumble, as the horse-drawn trolley rounds the square. Dust and perfume, chatter and bells, it is a portrait in motion. Behind the main fronts, row houses trimmed with iron lace hold a dozen quieter stories. A seamstress turns a treadle wheel and hums. A boarder waters a fern on a second-floor balcony. A recent clerk counts coins by lamp and dreams of a storefront with his name. Savannah breathes here. The new middle class lives close to its work and closer to its hopes. They read the papers. They believe in the future. $5 a week, perhaps a little more, and somehow enough to set a table with pride. Toward dusk, the river air cools. Lamps blink alive along bay. The last wagons head for the sheds. Up in the hotels, the piano starts again. Savannah in 1891 is not a static painting. It moves, it sweats, it dreams. The city rises early and sleeps late. It trades in cotton and timber, in gossip and grit, in the weight of old names and the hunger of new faces. Rails draw straight lines on paper. On the ground, they sing. Brick looks still on the map. In the hand, it is warm. And it is all here, exactly where the map says. A world of steam and prayer, of bourbon and brick. You do not need to imagine it. You only need to step inside. Did you ever spend time in Savannah? Or grow up hearing stories about its streets and squares? Have you visited any of the spots on the map? Share your memories with us in the comments. I would love to hear them. If you would like to keep a piece of the city close, you can find the restored 1885 bird's eye view of Savannah linked below. If maps like this speak to you, our catalog holds hundreds of beautifully restored views from across the country, each one capturing a city at its moment of promise. Shipping is free, and your support helps keep these restorations alive so we can continue bringing forgotten places and stories back into view. If you enjoy videos like this, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell. It really helps us grow and keeps history alive on this channel. Thank you for walking through 1891 Savannah with me and for helping these stories stay in the conversation.